In the deserts of ancient Arabia, long before the rise of Islam, legends spoke of kings and prophets, of dreams and divine omens. Among these tales, the story of Rabi'a bin Nasr, king of the Himyarite kingdom, stands as one of the most mysterious and prophetic. His reign, his dream, and the chilling prophecy delivered by two soothsayers, Shiqq and Satih, would echo through history, foreshadowing the conquest of Yemen and the rise of great empires. But who was Rabi'a bin Nasr, and what did his dream mean? Who were these enigmatic figures, Shiqq and Satih, whose visions predicted the fate of an entire region? The Himyarite kingdom, located in modern-day Yemen, was one of the most powerful kingdoms in pre-Islamic Arabia. Known for its flourishing trade and strategic location along the spice routes, the kingdom controlled a wealth of resources and was a center for culture and power in southern Arabia. Rabi'a bin Nasr was one of the last great kings of this ancient kingdom. His reign, like that of many pre-Islamic rulers, was marked by prosperity and internal strife. But Rabi'a's story is not merely one of political power, it is deeply entwined with the supernatural, the mystical, and the unknown. It is said that one night, King Rabi'a bin Nasr had a dream, a vision that disturbed him deeply. So vivid, so terrifying was this dream that the king feared it foretold his doom. He awoke shaken and anxious, desperate to understand its meaning. In the ancient world, dreams were often seen as messages from the gods, a glimpse into the future, or a warning of disaster. Rabi'a, knowing the gravity of his dream, summoned every soothsayer, sorcerer, omenmonger, and astrologer in his kingdom and said, "I have had a vision which terrifies me and is a source of anxiety. Tell me what my dream was and what it means." They replied, "Tell us the vision, and we will tell you its meaning." But the king said, "If I tell you the dream, I will have no confidence in your interpretation, for the only man who knows its meaning is he who knows about the vision without me telling him." Thereupon, one of them recommended the king to send for Shiqq and Satih, for they knew more than others and would be able to answer his questions. The king sent for the two soothsayers, Shiqq and Satih. Soothsayers, known as kahins in pre-Islamic Arabia, played a crucial role in the spiritual, social, and political life of the Arabian Peninsula. These individuals were revered and feared for their perceived ability to communicate with the unseen, foretell the future, and provide guidance based on their mystical insights. Their influence extended across various aspects of Arabian life, from tribal leadership to religious practices, making them essential figures in the pre-Islamic Arab world. It was widely believed that kahins had the ability to communicate with spirits or jinn, who provided them with knowledge of the unseen. Jinn were thought to be supernatural beings that could traverse between the human and divine realms, making them valuable sources of hidden knowledge. Kahins were consulted for their ability to predict future events, particularly in times of uncertainty or crisis. They would often be called upon before battles, during times of famine, or when a tribe was facing a significant decision. Kahins interpreted natural phenomena such as the flight patterns of birds, the arrangement of stars, or unusual weather events to provide insights into the will of the gods or the fate of individuals and tribes. Due to their perceived connection with the divine, kahins were often asked to mediate disputes within and between tribes. Their judgments were respected, as they were believed to be guided by supernatural forces. Tribal chiefs and leaders often relied on the advice of kahins before making critical decisions. The kahins' perceived connection with the divine made their guidance invaluable, especially in situations where the future was uncertain. Kahins were seen as guardians of sacred knowledge and traditions, which they passed down through generations. Their knowledge of religious practices, oral histories, and tribal customs was vital in maintaining the spiritual continuity of their communities. This allowed them to understand the will of the gods and the workings of the cosmos. This knowledge was closely guarded and often shrouded in secrecy. Kahins were often skilled orators and poets, using a distinctive form of rhymed prose known as saj. Their speeches and pronouncements were not only religious or prophetic, but also artistic, contributing to the rich oral literary tradition of pre-Islamic Arabia. The rhythmic and enigmatic nature of their words added to their aura of mystery and authority. In some cases, kahins would enter a trance-like state, believed to be a form of possession by a spirit or jinn. In this altered state, they would deliver prophecies or provide answers to questions posed by those seeking their counsel. When delivering their prophecies, these soothsayers would often speak in saj, a rhythmic, rhyming prose that gave their words an air of authority, mystery, and divine influence. Saj often contained short, cryptic sentences, rhyming endings, but no fixed pattern of meter like poetry. Saj had hypnotic quality that made their speeches seem mystical and authoritative. The use of saj by soothsayers served several purposes. It made their statements more memorable and powerful. The rhyming cadence gave the impression that their words came from a divine or otherworldly source, reinforcing their claims of supernatural insight. Saj also helped create a sense of drama and mystery, making their audience feel like they were hearing something sacred or magical. Shiqq and Satih were no ordinary men. They were known throughout Arabia for their abilities to see beyond the mortal world, to interpret the unseen, and to peer into the future. However, their physical appearances were as strange as their talents. Shiqq, the first of the two, was described as a man with only half a body, one eye, one arm, one leg, a figure that seemed half man, half spirit. Yet despite his unusual form, Shiqq's wisdom and prophetic abilities were unmatched. The name Shiqq literally means half or split in Arabic. This name was given to him because of his extraordinary physical appearance. The name directly references his half-body appearance, marking him as someone unique and distinct, not fully part of the normal human world. His appearance and abilities as a soothsayer enhanced the idea that he was connected to mystical forces. The second soothsayer, Satih, was equally extraordinary. The name Satih comes from the Arabic word meaning flat or spread out. Satih's appearance was even more bizarre than Shiqq's. He is often described as a man without bones, his body able to move fluidly like water or a serpent. Some stories say that he could collapse into a mass of skin without structure or rigidity, making him an otherworldly presence. These two figures, with their supernatural abilities and strange appearances, were summoned to Rabia'S court to interpret the ominous dream that haunted the king. Satih arrived first. The king then repeated his words, ending, "If you know the vision, you will know what it means." Satih answered the king's questions. He delivered his answer in Saj. "A fire you did see, come forth from the sea. It fell on the low country and devoured all that be." The king agreed that this is exactly what he had seen and wanted to know the meaning and the interpretation of this dream. Satih answered, again in Saj, "By the serpent of the lava plains, I swear the Ethiopians on your land should bear ruling from Abyan to Jurash everywhere." The king exclaimed that this was distressing news, but when would these things come to pass, in his time or after him? Satih replied again in Saj, "More than 60 or 70 years must first pass. Would the newcomer's kingdom last? No, an end would be put to it after 70 years or more. The ABYSINIANS will also be uprooted." Further questions drew the information that their kingdom would not last, but a pure prophet, to whom revelation came from on high, would bring it to an end. He would be a man of the sons of Ghalib bin Fir. His dominion would last till the end of time. Basically, Satih prophesied that the invaders will rule for many years, but eventually another foreign power will come, this time from the land of the Persians. They will defeat the first conquerors and take control of Yemen. All this will happen before the coming of a great prophet from the descendants of Ismail. Later, Shiqq arrived, and the king acquainted him with the facts, but did not tell him what Satih had said, so that he might see whether they both agreed or differed. Satih contacted his familiar spirits and delivered the king's vision in Saj. "A fire you did see come forth from the sea. It fell between rock and tree, devouring all that did breathe." Perceiving that they agreed one with the other and the difference was a mere choice of words, the king asked Shiqq for his interpretation. The interpretation was delivered by Shiqq in Saj again. "By the men of the plains I swear, the blacks on your land shall bear, pluck your little ones from your care, ruling from Abyan to Najran everywhere." The king asked the same questions already put to Satih and learnt that after his time, "There shall deliver you from them a mighty great of name, and put them to the utmost shame." Shiqq continued in answer to the questions already put forth to Satih. He said that his kingdom shall be ended by an apostle who will bring truth and justice among men of religion and virtue. Dominion will rest with his people until the day of resurrection. Shiqq's interpretation of the dream was, "O king, Abyssinia will conquer your lands, followed by the Persians. But know this, the time of the Arabs is coming. From the descendants of Ismail, a prophet will arise, and his message will spread across the lands." What these men told Rabi'a bin Nasr made a deep impression on him. The words of Shiqq and Satih proved true over time. Not long after Rabi'a bin Nasr's death, Yemen fell under the control of the Abyssinians. Led by their general Abraha, the Abyssinians ruled for decades, even building the famous Great Church of Sana'a to rival the Kaaba in Mecca. But their rule was not to last. The prophecy's second part came true when the Persians, under the Sassanid Empire, intervened and took control of Yemen. And finally, in the 7th century, the prophecy's most significant aspect came to pass: the rise of Islam. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, from the descendants of Ismail, brought a religion that would forever change the course of history in Arabia and beyond. The advent of Islam in the 7th century brought about significant changes to the religious and social landscape of Arabia, leading to the decline of the Kahins' influence. The new monotheistic faith, as preached by the Prophet Muhammad, emphasized the worship of one God, Allah, and rejected the polytheistic practices that had been central to the Kahins' authority. Islam's strict monotheism directly challenged the polytheistic beliefs upheld by the Kahins. The Quran denounced the practice of soothsaying and the consultation of jinn, emphasizing that true knowledge of the unseen belonged only to Allah. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, explicitly condemned the practices of the Kahins, equating them with falsehood and deception. This condemnation is reflected in several hadiths, sayings of the Prophet, where soothsaying is portrayed as incompatible with the teachings of Islam. The story of Rabi'a bin Nasr and the soothsayers Shiqq and Satih is more than just a tale of a king's dream. It is a window into the world of ancient Arabia, where prophecy, fate, and supernatural forces shaped the lives of kings and commoners alike. It reminds us of the deep cultural belief in the power of dreams and the unseen world that influenced the course of history. Even today, Rabi'a's dream and the words of Shiqq and Satih stand as a testament to the mysterious and prophetic forces that have shaped our world. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more tales from ancient history.